B12.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh.
Hey, Redman is in the building. You already know.
Hey guys, this is Emily Peachy.
Shout out, man, to Worldwide Collaborations, man.
I want to shout out Worldwide Collaborations, LLC.
Shout out to the Worldwide Collaborations, LLC.
World movement, beyond thousands of movements.
The world movement, beyond thousands of movements.
All about representing each other together. So check this out.
What's up? You want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of the Worldwide Collaboration?
You guys should all be a part of Worldwide Collaboration.
Worldwide Collaborations, LLC. Check us out, man, and check what's going on, man. Word up. I have recently been choosing to be a spokesman and an ambassador, so you will see a lot more of me. Join the movement, man. It's beyond thousands of movements right now and talents put together, all about representing each other together.
I want to join, so I might see you there. All right, much success.
It is a worldwide collaboration song.
Yeah. Look, brainstorming, creating, thinking the new ideas, inventing innovations, representing everything, having members collaborate. Worldwide collaborations, ongoing visualizations, programming operations, bringing everyone together equals more motivation. In the situation we live in, there is no concentration. All the people in the world, but no consideration for everyone making excuses, complaining, completely ignoring everything.
Hello to everybody out there, and welcome back to another exclusive interview on the Chatterbox with King Jacob. I'm your host, King Jacob, and we have another star-studded episode with a special invited guest, singer, songwriter, social influencer, music influencer, the singing is great. We need that involving, R&B and soul back, R&B and neo soul, just that good R&B music. We got to get that back, to the forefront. So none other than Whitney Nechelle. How you doing?
How are you doing? And thank you for that great introduction.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So now, before we get started with the episode, the interview, I always like to ask, the special guests, who they are. And so, who would you say Whitney Nechelle is?
Whitney Nechelle is your R&B person goddess.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to serenade you, and I always like it to be subtle. I like a voice you could go to sleep to, but also feel sexy.
Okay. So, tell us how you got started with music and with singing.
It's like we hear many a times. I did start in the church, singing on the choir, went into writing. I started around, I'd say 12 or so, early teenage years, started writing my own songs. I started out initially rapping, but then I went into becoming a full singer 24/7.
Okay. And so, what era did you grow up in?
The 90s was my young years.
Okay. And so you grew up north, right?
I did. I started out in Tuskegee, Philadelphia, and Delaware.
Okay. So that sound of music, we all know that the sound of Philadelphia has been huge ever since the 70s. With Mr. Gamble and his crew and people like that. But as far as Jersey, man, what was that music scene like out in Jersey?
You know what? Honestly, when people ask me that, living in all these states, we're within an hour everywhere. So even when I would travel, we all had similar sounds, but oddly enough, Philadelphia, Delaware, Jersey, we tend to sound the same. Now you start going to Baltimore, DC, you'll get the go-go, different type of live music. I think Philadelphia is more soulful, but the DC and Baltimore, once you start going down south, you start to hear the go-go. And that is it's a different sound. It's hard to explain, but almost like a fast-paced church music that's not made for church necessarily.
Right. Of course. So, I'm familiar with the Philly and the Delaware, music scene. I used to live in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm familiar, and we used to go to Philly all the time as well. So, because it's so close. So, um,
Yeah.
I'm familiar. But what I will, I will say, when it comes to, are you a track type person? Are you a live band type person? Like, what do you prefer?
I try to make my music. I love live music. I grew up, like you said, in the Philly area. So, bands, live bands is something that you just have to be ready for, especially if you're a performer. I'm very used to translating both live and recorded. I try to make my track so that it can be played both ways. And I'm able to ad lib very easily. So if I go off on my own situation on some Jill Scott, Jaguar right stuff, I'm very used to that, just feeling the moment. Of course, we know this is what happens in church. You might
Right,
have
right.
stopped, but the crowd is not ready to stop. So you have to keep going.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, can you remember the first time your parents understood that you could sing? Like, how was how was that for you? And was they surprised, or did you come from a background of singers?
So my mom actually came up through Broadway. She worked closely with a lot of well-known people that are still highly respected to this day. Of course, a couple generations before me, but I was raised around music. My dad was a DJ when I was younger, so music has always been in my life. As far as singers, I have a couple family members that are also in the music business. So we were young girls, at the family reunion doing our, you might call it Jackson 5, performances. We started out very young. So as far as them knowing I could sing, I feel like I started singing the same time I started walking. So it wasn't a surprise. Even dancing, I've been dancing all my life. So it's something
Okay.
I was made to do, and they know that.
Okay. Cool. So you saying at the family reunions, are you saying you and your siblings, you and your cousins, or
So I actually have all brothers, but my girl cousin, shout out to Shalane Bowen out in LA. She's a singer and guitarist, but we were singing more so with my cousins. Now I will get my brothers if I wanted to, if I was feeling that way. You might be a background dancer real quick, but I don't think they minded dancing with some of my girlfriends.
right? I can dig it. I can dig it. So, your parents understood that you can sing. So, do you remember the first time you wanted to actually pursue it and take it seriously?
Oh, I always wanted to take it seriously. I went to Tuskegee University in Alabama. I was in a lot of performances there from Miss Tuskegee. So I'm very used to the camera. One thing that is very important to me is keeping, uh, how do I say this? Keeping a role of being respected, but also being able to be sexy. So I try to ride the fine line. You won't see me. Growing up in the church, I ride the fine line. Everybody knows I might show some leg. I might, show some above parts, but I try to always be respectful and always prepared to stand up for what I do. And when I perform, I've been doing this all my life. Think about when I have to dance, the kind of moves that I have to make. So guys can get peeps, but not too much of a peep. So,
Right.
but yes, I've been very comfortable singing and performing.
Okay, great. So the very first time you went into the booth to record, tell me
Very
about
first
that
time.
experience.
Oh man, that had to be college time. We had our own radio station at Tuskegee, our own television station. I was on BET. They used to do the Black College tour, so I was involved in that. I got to step in the booth. Free was there. I don't know if anybody remembers Free,
Oh
but
yeah, oh yeah. We definitely remember Free for sure.
yeah, yes. So, and Dipset was also in town. Of course, I told you I used to rap, so that was the first time I stepped in the booth. Was the mid, I would say 2010 or so. I was stepping in the booth for the first time recording, but I've always been writing songs.
Okay. So as far as you being in the music industry for so long, how do you feel? What are the pros and cons from the way it's been changed to the digital era until the analog era, or do you think that they should have merged both together?
I think it's very hard to merge them both together. With all due respect, I remember Napster being a young girl when Napster came out, and I was still a little bit young, but it seems to be the system can be more manipulated when it is going through these streaming systems. I've had, close friends and other artists that I know. You see certain streams and it's not adding up. I know the money behind it all. So I really do miss when people would buy CDs. I miss the idea of people being able to sell their CDs and their tapes right outside on the street corner if they wanted to. I went to school in Atlanta when Jeezy, was known to be big, selling his albums out the back of his trunk, and look at him now. I feel like that's a lot harder now. People think it's easier to access, but I just feel like it's easier to manipulate. You can't get your money for your streams. And for the artists out there, it could be easier to get in, but how do you stay at the top? And how do you ensure that the information that the system is telling you or the computer is telling you, how do you know that it's accurate and people aren't just buying into something?
Well, I've always said myself that I always thought that the streaming services took what we call the fan appreciation away. Because I remember, because I've been in this industry for about 25 years, from street team promotions to club
Right.
promotions to managing. Now I'm on the PR side. I've been on the radio side of it. I've been on the tour managing side of it. So, with that being said, I remember me myself, not the artist, but me myself. I remember me selling in a summer, just traveling 10, 20,000 units, So, me helping the artists, and I remember we from city to city, out the trunk, hand in hand, come back and the fan appreciations, the CD signings and the poster signings inside the mall, and
Exactly.
and and, and the free parties in the park, the actually listening sessions, where you really have, judges there, like a DJ, a magazine editor, a blogger,
Right.
everybody, you know what I'm saying? And but the listening party was private from real industry professionals
Mm,
that can let you know what song is a single, what's not a single, what is for a soundtrack, what is for the club, what is for a video game. But nowadays with the streaming, it's like I don't feel like, cause when we was out there, it was, you had mainstream, always had underground artists. So now it's like the stream has everything bobbled into one. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like you can hear uh Janet Jackson on the playlist, but you can hear any artist that ain't been doing it for 6 months on their same playlist. So I don't really think that adds up. So, and you've been in it for quite some time, so that's why these are things that's necessary to talk about. is because you've seen the way it changed, in the
Yeah.
way, in the way it it took artists money away. As far as what I mean by money away, like you can have the scan code, the scan gun, and scan your CDs and sell them on the street, and that reported straight to Billboard. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's just all streaming, and so I was hear Snoop Dogg talk about how streaming was a ripoff to the artist,
Mhm.
So, and he was real indecisive on what he was saying. He was like, man, this is crazy, man. Like when you used to go to the music stores, and when somebody was dropping that morning, and as soon as they opened, man, you got a line wrapped around the door, and like the real when people was really into music,
Yeah.
and so as far as you being you having to cross over to the new era of which is digital, how have you been able to sustain as far as kind of understanding streaming and appreciating streaming, but also navigating in a way where your fans still appreciate you?
That's a great question. I'm trying to stay up with the social media platforms is very important. I didn't want to admit it, but getting into the music industry and speaking to some close friends that are very successful in it behind the scenes and in front of the camera, it was like things such as, hey, this song would translate really well on TikTok. You can make this song and it can go viral on TikTok. And this is what they could do. And these are the challenges that we can have on TikTok. So it becomes a whole nother beast. It becomes a whole nother ideology where it's just making music. But like you said, you know, in the 90s, you would have a movie and the soundtrack would be huge. You
Right.
know, people wouldn't even watch the movie, but there were some Grammys won off of just soundtracks. Now you don't hear that. So even making music for your album, it becomes, this would be a great song on a scene in a movie, or this song would translate. I actually had a song that I was called for a racing game, a racing driving game. Hey, we would love to play this song behind the scene without the lyrics. Another avenue that I would actually do was let me see. It was a song that I had called Girl Boss, and I was just getting into it. Long story short, it became viral in another country. And so they started doing a challenge, what does a girl boss look like? Hashtag girl boss. And that's when I realized I made great money off that song. And you just realize it wasn't necessarily just the song, it was the opportunities and the platform
Hmm.
that pushed the song and allow people to participate in that success of the song.
Okay. Well, great. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with none other than Whitney Nechelle. Stay tuned. Keep it locked.
I'm tired of lying, and it's getting plain to see. I done tried hard to deny, but this woman changing me. Might go to the clubs, but I leave kinda early, and I don't drink and drive, but chug and jive, so my woman ain't gotta worry. No. See, I can't be playing with her heart or playing with her mind. We ain't getting no younger, can't play with my time. And I know she miss me and can't wait to kiss me. So I might be invited tonight. You ain't gotta look for me. I might be invited tonight. Yeah.
All right, we're back. That was my man Too Smooth out of Mississippi. 10 tonight. Brother, he's he's definitely made waves. I seen him, get started, but I now see him tour all around the country. So paying the night. So that the real soulful R&B, man. I love it. I love it, man. It just I just was telling somebody the other day, man. I was like, I see people like Tank and Tyree still going, man. I see those brothers still going almost 30 years in the business, and it really does my heart to see them still putting out their real quality R&B, man. And I just say that we definitely got to appreciate the R&B singers that keep going because in the industry and in the radio world, they've tried to shy away from the R&B. So what do you think, you as a singer, songwriter, music creator, what do you think we need to do to get the R&B back?
You mentioned Tank. I'm a big fan of Tank, always have been. I love the fact that he actually has a show
Mhm.
on YouTube, and he's focusing on R&B. So not only is he putting out his own music, he also works on other people's songs that you never know of. He's writing songs out there, and then he's bringing them to show them on front of the camera on his
Right,
TV show, and allows you to get to know who they are. So I love the fact he's focusing solely on R&B and showing that he could be successful in that avenue.
right. So as far as you, what are some of your favorite songs that you've written and recorded, and why?
Definitely Capricorn. That was my first album. That was the focus of the album, was Capricorn. I have a lot of people that somewhat misunderstand it. I think they get lost sometimes in the tarot side of it. Oh, is she into astrology and she's not religious? It's not even that deep. It's more so, what do you when you meet somebody, what do you say? You say, "Hi, what's your name?" Sometimes you might say, "When's your birthday?" Instead of saying that, if somebody says, "What's your sign?" So Capricorn was very special to me. A lot of people resonated with Capricorn. I had several people that sent me songs with their zodiacs and a reply, a lot of interaction once again. And also it was able to hit big platforms on Tidal. Tidal did a whole album just off of the astrology side, like Capricorns and Taurus, and they put my song on there. So it gave me a lot of exposure. And then this new album, M.A.S.S. M.A.S.S is M.A.S.S. The breakdown of that is mind altering synthetic substance. I'm going to alter your mind, but once again, soulful voice. I'm going to put you on a high like a drug, so it's synthetic. It's not a real drug, but I want you to feel like you're high on my voice. But I'm so proud of this album. I love Attach music. I've got a lot of interaction with the song Bottom Line. Um, how to Love. Shout outs to people who are on my album, Scoop Me Lou and 1787 and Drag, um, which are also from Jersey. But I love so many tracks on this new album. It's so hard for me to pick a favorite. I always say it depends on my mood.
Okay. Did you get a chance to see the reel I promoted for the show today?
I did. I did.
Now that song right there,
What was that?
I said the song that I have on the reel. I
Yes.
had yes. I had to listen to that song like 3 4 times.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it
Thank you
just
so much.
it just caught me. I was like, okay.
And different ones catch different people. Like I said, sometimes if you're happy, you might want one song. If you're feeling a little lonely, you might like another song. So I just appreciate it. And the reel was awesome. Like, you did a great job on it. Thank you so much.
No doubt, no doubt. So do you want to talk about the production and the producers that kind of brought the life to some of the songs on the project? Do you want to highlight any of the producers?
I definitely will highlight 1787. I've been working with him for many years. He works with a lot of big artists in the industry, has showed me and taught me a lot. Spent days and nights in the studio when I'm recording, and I'm like, I think this is ready. He's like, no, it's not. Do it again. Do it again. So to handle the spiciness and the talent that I've been able to be exposed to. Shout outs to 1787, Scooby Loo, and Drag, and Bandit. Um, these are all Philadelphia and Jersey people. So thank you for the opportunity to give them a shout out.
Speaking of Philly and Jersey, man, my guy in Philly, man, and I think that he has been so underrated as a just a global recording artist, man. I just think Music Soul Child, his penmanship, his voice, his octave, his riffs, his runs, his falsetto. I think, man, he's so underrated, and I would love to see you work with Music Soul Child.
Well, he's right in my backyard, and I have to tell you, there's so much talent in the Philly area. I have spent many nights performing in New York and Philadelphia and DC, and I really do feel, I always say this, I love a lot of the city, so don't get me wrong. But I always say, if you can make it in New York and Philly, I feel like you can make it anywhere in America. It's a lot of talent out here, and if you're up there and you're able to get some fans up there, hey, you've won. And then also to push yourself, if you're with all stars, you're going to be an all star. But if you play with people that are what I call poo putts, that are not that talented, or are just going to be around for a one hit wonder, then that's what you'll be. So definitely the area has saturated. It's saturated with this talent and Music Soul Child. Let's work together. Yes.
Yeah. So I like Music Soul Child, and a big fan of India.Arie and Vivian Green and people like that. Vivian Green is one of my favorite artists. Algebra Bassett is one of my favorite artists. You
Oh,
know,
let's talk about Emotional Roller Coaster. I just listened to that yesterday. I was just performing that. Vivian Green, shout outs to Vivian. Beautiful girl, beautiful voice. That song hits my soul. Yes.
right. So as far as you, do you have any reference tracks that you want to pitch to other people, as far as labels and stuff like that, or do you take projects on where you write for other people as well?
Not at this time. At this time, I'm focusing on Whitney Nechelle,
Okay,
and we are going to ride her all day, ride the road out. But I've been working behind the scenes for other people. Now it's time to focus on Whitney.
okay. No, I was just asking because
So it's okay.
you have great penmanship. So I just wanted to ask you that. That's all. So
No
so
worries.
no doubt. So from the aspect of business, and it's, I tell people, it's about the business. It's a lot of corporate structure in the music business. So with that being said, what kind of advice do you give to younger artists that come to you? And I know they come to you and ask you questions all the time.
I always say, I'll say two things. Two things. Number one, work, work, work. Be on time. Be good to your fans, because they're giving you this opportunity in this platform, and we are not guaranteed it, nor do we deserve it. It's an honor. So always work hard, and don't settle. Like, it's always room for improvement. Be able to take constructive criticism and practice. If you're listening to other people's music every day, listen to your own and work on your own craft. Invest in yourself. Secondly, I want to say you have to you have to focus. Don't focus on being a one-hit wonder. You got
Hmm.
to focus on having a catalog. People want to hear your catalog. They want to hear music. So when you get a rep, if you get asked to go to uh, a signing deal, be prepared. It's not the one hit, guys. It's not the hit, the one that you've worked on for 2 years, or the one that's on YouTube and you've been running for a year. Be prepared because they want to hear more. They want to hear your catalog. That's where the industry is going. So be able to have a lot of songs and try different sounds. Be prepared because when you get ready for that call, you think it's that one hit. No, they want to hear what else do you have. And we're not talking about one or two songs. We're talking about 50 songs. Let's see what she can do. Let's see what he can do. What have they been doing the last 2 years?
Right, right. We talking about 50 songs or more, for sure. You absolutely right about that. They want to hear what you got. They want to hear, can this go to soundtrack? Is this a radio hit in this market? Do you have a top 100? Do you have a top 200? A top 400? Are you a top 40 artist? They want to know all that. And when we talk about being the top 40 artist, we really talking about some numbers. We really talking about overseas market. We talking about you can blow in every market in America plus overseas when you're talking about top 40. I tell artists all the time, if you pay attention to somebody like a Flow Rider or a Pitbull, man, they top 40 artists and has been top 40 artists for years. And if you just look at how they strategize,
Yeah.
you can kind of learn a lot by looking at another artist in the way they navigate. You know what I mean? So you can really learn about. And I tell artists all the time, man, please learn the business. Study this business. Study the business like you're trying to get your bachelor's, your master's, and your doctorate degree.
Come
For real,
on.
for real, because it changes so much, you know. And if any artist is paying attention, Universal Music Group just lost $16 billion, and so the industry is changing.
Yes, it
You
is.
know, because the artists that they are overlooking are the artists that should be signed, and the artists that they think is going to continue to blow is not. You know what I'm saying? People are always looking for a new wave, a new sound. You know what I mean? A new entertainer. So it's like Denzel say. He said, "Man, I'm tired. I'm ready to step down." So we looking for more fresh talent like Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We looking for more of that fresh talent and more directors and more producers and stuff like that. So, that's the way the wave is going. But with your sound though, man, you can really tour forever. You for real, for real. Because you have a amazing sound, man. Amazing sound. I thought about different people. Like I thought about the chick from Atlantic Star. I thought about somebody like a Selena Johnson. I thought about you know um um you know Coco from SWV. Just
Yeah.
several people in several songs that you have. So you have a very distinctive sound that invites people. Your music is very warm. You know what I mean? So keep going, please keep going.
And I have some songs coming out on some other singers' albums. So I'm looking forward to, you know, putting that into the world and sharing it with you guys soon. And some visuals are coming too, some videos.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. The visuals are. Can we expect how many singles on the project have you picked out that you want to shoot visuals for?
It's going to be between 4 and 5. I'm working right now on budgeting and the way that it's going to be marketed, but we're looking at about 4 or 5 of the songs.
Okay. Now, are you a up tempo person, mid tempo, or a love ballad type person?
I love to sing love ballads, but even on this last album, I went back and it was hard to pick. I had so many songs. It was so many songs. It got down to, I think, 13 on the album, but it was so hard to pick them. I love ballads, but it has to be some dance up tempo beats, man. Let me tell you, I love to sing things at nighttime in my bedroom and when I'm in the shower. But I love to dance, been dancing all my life. So I'm dancing around the house and I have to have some tracks that we could dance to. So I consider myself during the day up tempo. I wake up tempo, but when it's nighttime, now it's per kitten goddess. I'm about to purr and I'm
Okay.
about to sing some love songs. So a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay, okay, okay. As far as a writer's perspective, is it is it a lot more different to write the ballads than it is to write the up tempo dance songs?
No, honestly, for me, it's all real situations that either I've been personally involved in or my friends have been personally involved in. I always tell people writing is my drug of therapy. It's my crack cocaine. So that's how I kind of, how can we say, that's how I relax and when I'm upset, that's how I get my emotions off. I'm not one, I don't like a lot of drama. I don't like to argue, but I will go and write a song about you. And it hurt my feelings. HMF on the album. You hurt my feelings, I hurt your feelings.
Right, 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 right. So I was just about to ask you that from an emotional standpoint of view and from a songwriter's point of view, when those emotions are racing high and they're raving like some pistons in a Camaro, you know. So that emotional presence of while you're writing a song and you have tears in your eyes and stuff like that. How hard is it to record that song when the emotions is still at all time high?
I really do think when I am high on emotion, sometimes I record the best track. You have to. My goal is to hit people's soul, like you said. We're singing R&B, soul music here, so sometimes I'll be fussing and I'm like, I'm so upset, I'm so mad. And it will translate in the music and it's passionate. You can tell I'm angry. You can tell I'm upset. You can tell I'm happy. You can tell I'm in love. That emotion is so important to me that you guys can feel it. So bring on the emotions. I remember the movie, was it was with come on. Ray Charles. Ray
Hmm.
Charles. And in one of the scenes, he was talking to a singer and she was pissed. And he's like, go on and sing it. And she sings this song, baby, and it was a Grammy, okay? She sung that song.
You talking
And it
about
was
hit the road?
all because she had that
You talking about
emotion.
you talking about hit the road, Jack? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. That was a great movie, man.
It
And
really
I
was.
could I commend Jamie Foxx. He said it took him 10 years to make that movie. 10 years.
I can believe it because he just oozed Ray Charles. He really did.
Yeah, like that's like I was like so surprised, man. And every time I watch, I'd be like, man, this dude is great at what he do. For
Let's
real,
see.
for real. He's great at what he do. So yeah, I definitely, from the artistry just overall, whether it's the actor, whether it's the musician, whether it's the painter, it's such a gift. It's it's such a gift that, I want to say that it's a gift that opens up the minds of people who may go through. Because I can tell people, a lot of time when I'm going through, music is definitely my therapy. You know what I mean?
Really.
Music definitely. I can put my headphones on and listen to music for hours and hours. You know, it's sometimes my sister be like, "Where you at?" I be like, "Oh, I'm just listening to some music." She be like, "You been listening to that music for a long time." I was like, "Yeah." It is definitely therapeutic. So when it comes to you, we're talking about your songwriting. We're talking about your riffs, your runs, your octaves. Um, Now, most people don't like to ask female singers and songwriters this, but I do. How do you want what you write and what you sing to hit a man's soul?
I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. Everybody has the ability to have your own opinions. I know that the focus is women can do everything men can do, and I don't need a man. I hear that a lot. I see a lot of the battle of the sexes. That's not where I am. I'm at this point in my life that I've been through enough, and my journey is I love to share my life with somebody, and we all have our own roles, and we have to play our positions. So, with that being stated, I want a man to feel appreciated. I want him to feel loved. Yes, you might be high on emotion, but there's so much love and positivity, and to lift him up. This world just takes you down, and I want to be an uplifting voice. When people hear my music, as far as me, yes, I love some artists, and we know some artists are known to have some man bashing songs, but overall, I appreciate it. I was raised by my dad my whole life, so I can appreciate a man and having to be able to understand a woman and how challenging that can be. So that's what I want a man to hear is understanding, patience, kindness, and positivity in my voice.
That's great. You know what? That is so great. You know what I mean? To have your music with that warmth, with that compassionate, with that soulfulness that we can just put on our headphones and say, man, you know, just let me analyze and take in what she's singing about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just to
Yeah,
relax. You know,
yeah,
home is
yeah.
where you can feel happy and safe at. So when you come home, it's not volatile, it's not toxic. It's the safe place.
You know, I tell people all the time, man. Man, if people know how much I have listened to Mary J. Blige 7 days, they'd be like, my God. Like for real, man. Like, you know, and I love Jennifer Hudson, you know. I listen to I Love You, I Do so much. So much. That's like one of my favorite songs by her because it grabs you, it reels you in. So you know, I just like artists who can grab you and you can feel like you was at the studio with them at the time they recorded the track. Those are the type of artists that I love. So keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on shining. So I went through your Instagram. I see you did shows in ATL, Georgia. You know,
Yes.
I
Sign up
see
for
you.
the ATL. Aliens.
Yeah, yeah. I see you down. You was down with them ATL aliens and them Georgia peaches. And so tell me about your experience in ATL. You know how it differs from being past the Mason Dixon line.
I went to school at Tuskegee, which is probably about an hour away from Atlanta. So Atlanta is
It's
definitely
home.
somewhere I'm used
Okay.
to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Love the
That's great.
food.
That's great though. That's great. So I tell people a lot of my cousins, that have moved down to the south and they was raised up north. Um, they just like, man, the vibe just be so different, and it's just so warm. I said, I said I think musicians nationwide have that warmth about them because y'all speak a certain language that most civilians don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Because there's me talking to you on the streets, but there's me talking music to you, which music is what I call a people's love language. Not that you're in love with somebody, but just a people's love language. You know, you can talk to some people, they can't get the words out to you, but man, they were like, man, just listen to this song and you understand what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So that's a music love language. So as far as you, the language of music, how does that elevate your mind?
The language of music. Music is poetry. One thing I love about it too is the beat behind your voice can change the whole feeling, emotion behind the song. So it's just once again, it's therapy. What's on my heart and mind? How do I translate that with the pencil? How do I make it sound good, but talk from my soul? So, my once again, the album is mind altering. These are things that I put a lot of work into using my mind and trying to take you on this high. So you're my therapy out there in the world. Thank you for allowing me to get this emotion off. But it's just translating how I feel and how do I make it sound good. And also speaking from the heart. Sometimes I'll go in the booth and I'll just start saying things. And oh, I like the way that sounds, and something that might be a intro turns into a song, and some things that I feel like was going to be a song turns into an intro. So just being open-minded, and allowing the emotion to lead you.
Okay, I can dig it. Now, for you, when it comes to your music, that's something that you ladies call a sisterhood. You know what I mean? And so, for the sisterhood anthems, what song do you want to talk about and explain to the audience, and just to explain to the new followers and the new fans that you may have, why does this song implement sisterhood, and why is it so important that the sisterhood stay connected?
A sisterhood song. Let's see. I focus a lot on my love for men, but sisterhood song. I want to say "Lie." HMF, Hurt My Feelings.
Hmm.
I think we all have loved a person. It doesn't have to be a man. I think we've all have loved a person, whether it be a man, woman, or call it whatever you want. And they've lied to us. And you've
Uh-huh.
invested time and money, and you
Right.
can't get it back. So, lie is a great one for my girls. Uh, if you're feeling like you're heartbroken, girl, turn on Live, turn on HMF, Hurt My Feelings. Start singing in the mirror and pop your stuff and start talking that stuff because you look good. So put on your little freakum girl dress, not too much, but put on your little black dress, go out, have a good time, and know that we'll find another one. We're going to find some more love out there, and it's going to be better.
Okay. That's what's up. So the reason I asked that, because I know it's important when a lot of females go through that. They have that sisterhood connection where their friends gonna make them pick themselves up. And when you're doing this moping, we gonna get you out the house and blah blah blah. So that's why I asked you that, because those records hit people in the chest. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yeah, so that's why I asked you that. But we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and we'll return with Whitney Nechelle. Just stay tuned, keep it locked.
Shout out to the men that just came home from jail and said no matter what the circumstances is, I'm never going back. Shout out to the men that said I'm tired of neglecting my children. I'm stepping up and being a man for my children, teaching them morals, honor, responsibility. Shout out to the men that say, you know what, I'm tired of sleeping on that couch. I'm tired of using my mother. I'm tired of using that girl. I'm going to step up and be a man for me. Shout out to the men that just graduated from college or going to college. Shout out to the men that graduated from trade school. Shout out to the men that say, yo, I'm just tired of being tired and I need to make a change. Shout out to the men that stayed there, that's raising their children. Shout out to the men that's getting married or want to stay married. Shout out to the men that's taking care of children that's not biologically theirs. Shout out to the men that's trying to figure it out. Shout out to the men, because you are a beautiful soul. Shout out to the men that's just being a part of everybody's life to make a change, man. Stop the violence.
Yeah, shout out to the brothers, man, just making a change and standing up for stopping the violence, and standing up for the youth, and showing them how to conduct themselves with proper etiquette, and showing them how to tie a tie, and showing them how to hold doors for women, and just shout out to the brothers, because despite what they say about us sometimes, it's still a lot of us out here that believe in doing right, that's going to do right, and we know it's right to do right. So shout out to the men.
Shout out to them. Positivity. And thank you again for having me. And
Yes,
that
yes.
reel, you got to send that to me so I can
I
put
sure
that
will.
on. Thank you.
I sure will. I don't have no problem with it. So what's next for you? What can we expect for the rest of this year, and coming up for next year as well? Because we in October, so the calendar dates kind of start feeling up for next year, after when we get in this fourth quarter?
I'm going to be focusing on a lot of visuals for the album now. I'm also going to be on a couple of other people's albums. So definitely make sure you check out the Instagram, Whitney_Nechelle on Instagram. Please stay active on it because I have some hot stuff coming out. And we all love the video camera. We all love to see who we're listening to. So I got y'all. Just stay tuned.
All right. So you heard it first. The chat box with King Jacob, and shout out to MJ for making this possible. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to the Village Global Network. This show will be streaming in 191 countries, and you'll get to hear none other than the voice of the lovely Whitney Nechelle. And you check out music. So tell them where they can find your music at, and just if you have a website, go ahead and shout it out so they can subscribe.
Yes, please, definitely listen. I'm on all platforms. It doesn't matter which one, Amazon, iTunes, YouTube. Please, Whitney_Nechelle at Instagram. That's WHITNEY_NECHELLE. Check me out. And like I said, listen on any platform. Download it, baby.
You heard what she said. You heard it first. We're going to say good night, peace, blessings, and love. And just always remember, man, you was blessed by the best and you was born to win. Peace and blessings. We out of here.